everyone! Today, let's get ready to blast off on an exciting journey to Mars, the mysterious red planet. You know, Mars is the fourth planet from the Sun, right after Earth, and it's one of the most fascinating places in our solar system. So, let's dive in and discover what makes Mars so special. Why is Mars red? First, let's talk about why Mars is called the red planet. Mars gets its red color from iron oxide, or what we might call rust, covering its surface. Imagine a whole planet covered in rusty dust. That's why Mars has that fiery reddish-orange color. It's so red that you can sometimes spot it from Earth, even without a telescope. Size and atmosphere of Mars. Mars is only about half the size of Earth. But don't let that fool you. It's still a huge planet. If you could drive around Mars like you do on Earth, it would take a long time to go from one side to the other. Now, here's the thing about Mars's atmosphere, it's super thin and mostly made up of carbon dioxide. This means that if we went there, we wouldn't be able to breathe as we do on Earth. Also, because Mars has such a thin atmosphere, it doesn't have a lot of protection from the sun's rays, and that makes its temperatures and weather pretty wild. Mars's incredible landscape. Now, let's talk about Mars's landscapes. Mars has some of the tallest volcanoes and the deepest valleys in the entire solar system. Imagine a mountain 3 times taller than Mount Everest. This giant mountain on Mars is called Olympus Mons, and it's the tallest volcano in the solar system. Then there's Valles Marineris, a massive canyon so wide and long that it would stretch from one side of the United States to the other. Can you imagine standing at the edge of that canyon? It would be like looking down into a massive crack in the planet. Seasons and temperature on Mars. Mars has seasons just like Earth because it's tilted on its axis. But because it's much farther from the Sun, Mars is much colder. In fact, temperatures on Mars can be freezing, often way below zero. Winters are especially cold and icy, but summers can warm up a bit, though still chilly. Imagine a place where even summer feels like winter on Earth. Martian moons, Phobos and Deimos. Mars has 2 little moons, Phobos and Deimos. They're tiny and don't look like our moon at all, they're more like lumpy rocks orbiting the planet. Phobos and Deimos are named after the Greek words for fear and panic. Sounds spooky, right? What's even more interesting is that Phobos, the closer of the 2 moons, is slowly getting closer to Mars and might crash into the planet someday in the distant future. Or it might break apart and form rings around Mars, like Saturn has. Was there water on Mars? Now, this is one of the most exciting questions scientists are trying to answer. Was there ever water on Mars? And it turns out, yes. Scientists think Mars had rivers, lakes, and even oceans billions of years ago. Today, there's still some water on Mars, but it's mostly frozen in ice caps at the poles. Imagine finding a planet with frozen lakes, just waiting to be explored. And guess what? Some scientists believe that if Mars had water, it might have had tiny forms of life, like microbes. So, they're searching for signs of ancient life on Mars. Mars rovers, our robotic explorers. Because Mars is so interesting, we've sent special robots, called rovers, to explore the Martian surface. Rovers like Curiosity and Perseverance are like little astronauts, rolling around the surface, taking pictures, collecting samples, and finding clues about Mars's history. Perseverance is even on a mission to find signs of ancient life on Mars. These robots have taught us so much about Mars, from its weather to its rocks and even the dust storms that sweep across the planet. Fun facts about Mars. let's talk about some fun facts. Did you know that a day on Mars, called a sol, is just a little longer than a day on Earth? It's 24 hours and 37 minutes, just a bit more than an Earth day. But, a year on Mars is almost twice as long as a year on Earth. That's because it takes Mars 687 Earth days to go around the Sun. And here's something wild, Mars has the biggest dust storms in the entire solar system. These dust storms can last for weeks, even months, and sometimes cover the whole planet. Could humans live on Mars? So, this leads us to an exciting question, could we actually live on Mars? Well, scientists and engineers are working hard on this idea. If we did live there, we'd need special suits and shelters because Mars doesn't have breathable air. And we'd need a way to keep warm and have food and water since it's such a cold and dry place. But with some amazing technology, who knows? Maybe in the future, humans will set up a colony on Mars. Imagine living on another planet, that would be the adventure of a lifetime. The future of Mars exploration. Right now, NASA and other space agencies around the world are planning to send more rovers, and even people, to Mars. We're learning more and more about this incredible planet every day. And who knows, one of you watching might be part of the team that finally makes it to Mars or helps us learn more about this red planet. So, there you have it, Mars. A planet full of wonders, mysteries, and adventures waiting to be discovered. Thanks for joining me on this space adventure. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you love learning about space. And who knows, maybe one day we'll meet on Mars. Curious about more planets? Be sure to check out my playlist for more exciting journeys across our solar system.